All right, so in our last adventure of hauling things, we got plows, and you would think that would be enough to satisfy me for a while, but it never is. The very next day, I went and got a whole nother load of treasure. So I'll tell you a little bit about that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. And one thing I like is parts. I got a lot of stuff, and I got a lot of stuff that needs stuff. And when I get a chance to buy parts, I usually go for it if it's a good deal. So what I ended up with was 3 totefuls, basically, of all new old stock implement parts. And I've been sorting through it. I've already carried away like 17 bucketfuls. I sorted it by type of implement and what have you. So you may be asking why do that? Well, there in a few of the pictures, there were things that I saw that I could use. For example, what we're going to use today. New old stock PITMAN stick. And it should fit my 356 mower, I hope, because if you recall last year I had put a brand new one on and was mowing along the ditch, and a car came at me the other way. At the same time, a tree was in the ditch. I couldn't get out of the way, and it ended up flipping the cutter bar up in the air and broke the pitman, thus aggravating me. So that's what we're going to eventually get to today. But anyway, this seemed like pretty good stuff, and I hate to see stuff like this go to the scrap, because I will use some of it in my lifetime. And I wasn't going to show you because I know what's going to happen. Everybody and his neighbor's going to be sending me messages or whatever saying, I saw such and such on there and I'd like to buy that. And you know, that's not why I showed it to you. But like I said, I wasn't going to, and then I decided to, because I came up with a good procedure to handle that. And that is, if you see anything in here that you would like, write it down on a piece of paper and then crumple that piece of paper up and throw it away, because it's not for sale. So that's the way it is. Tough luck. Yeah, I mean, I might trade stuff at some point down the line, but until I get everything sorted out and whatever, there is nothing on here for sale. And that's just the way she goes. I've got implements, I mean, you haven't even seen yet, really. And so there's a lot of this stuff that will fit stuff that I have, so it's not gonna leave. You know, you can buy it at my auction when I'm dead. But whatever. So the task at hand is PITMAN stick, which means the task at hand is getting the 1550 out of the barn, which I thought would be simple, but turns out, guess what? Sadness. Oh, Freddie. You wouldn't do to me what this other tractor did to me. Back in here, the old 1550's been just patiently sitting. And if you can tell by the dirt, the problem we're having is that brake on the opposite wheel, the hardest to get to while it's sitting in here, is locked up and will not let me move. I can spin this wheel. I can't hold this wheel and break the other one free. So we're gonna have to crawl under there and take the 3 bolts out of the brake cover, try to get the wheel loose so we can get it out of the shed, and then from there we shall go on our merry way, I hope. It would have been really cool if it would have been this wheel, you know, the one we can get to, the one that we previously had locking up issues with. I don't know that I can physically do this. Oh, this is so nice. Because when you're slightly sweaty, everything is sticking to you. It's looking to me like we need to do the brake jobs on this tractor too. I'm gonna try just loosening all 3 a good fair bit. Actually, I think we still have a brake seal left. We didn't use on that other one, so. Well, that was no fun. I sure hope that it will break loose now. All right, let's hope this goes. Because, yeah, we got ditches to mow. Uh-oh, flying creatures, where did I disturb you? I know you're in there somewhere. Shiza. Come on, Bragg. There. God night. Well, fornication. Somewhere on there, that thing is full of flying creatures. And we have aggravated them. But I'm not exactly sure where. Well, I'm not exactly sure where those things were living, but they are angry. There's one there. I'd like to see it land somewhere, because I got a present for it in the form of my friend Brake Clean. And I know where there's another nest at on this 1800. Maybe that's where they're coming from. Maybe they're next door, unless they're living in that weed somewhere, which I broke off leaving. That's possible. But they're not happy at all. I guess it's possible they were living under the hood of the 1550. But whilst I'm here, let's torch these little mothers. Huh. I don't know. I just know they're all over, and that don't do it for me. Maybe they're built up in the rafters and they didn't like it when I started the thing. That's possible. I got better things to do than worry about them all day. Oh, there's one there. I'd like to see where they crawl into. Then I'd know where to look. I gotta close the gate and then we'll start in. All right. Oh, well, we need to unfold it first. It's entirely possible that I cut that Pitman too short when I made it. And I bet that's what I did. I bet this one is a whole sickle section longer, and that's what it's supposed to be. But I never had an original, so this will be enlightening. Let's dissect this. It's pretty far from the end there, so I'm thinking that I did cut it too short. And I probably didn't bring, well, yeah, I did. Basically, I think if we just unbolt it, we should be golden. And I guess we could take it off of there. Would be easier. Well, son of a Knudsen, friends. The camera's too hot, but also we've discovered some errors. This end will go right on here, no problem. All the bolt holes look like they line up. There's a slot, great. This end, however, if it was at its maximum travel, that would mean that the ball would be clear out there, which is just not possible. It would never ever be that far, ever. Which means this stick is too long. Also, none of the pieces line up. None of the holes, I should say. So, what is a boy to do? Well, he could drill new holes in this and cut it off and hope for the best. Or, I don't know. I don't know what he wants to do. We would have to be awfully, awfully sure of where we were going to land, because you just can't have, oh, there's a bolt missing. Well, that's probably important. So there's more mower work we need to do. But you see, this is already hitting here. That's too far. So we can't go farther than that. The maximum travel, I'm going to say, is where that point ends up in the center of that, like right there. That's going to be our maximum. Yeah, right there is our maximum travel. Consequently, I think my end of my sickle is bent, so that's nice. It's always something, friends. Well, pop to you too. So, do we want to abandon this Pitman and buy a new one, a blank one, and pre-drill? Or do we want to accept defeat? I mean, look how much we're going to have to shorten it. A ton. To get it where it needs to go. I would almost, it pains me to saw on brand new parts. This number may very well fit that other pull type mower I have. I don't know. I'd have to look it up by the part number. I don't know. I just figured they were all probably the same, because Oliver liked to do stuff like that, common parts and whatnot. But I also found that this number here is a new idea number. So it is possible that this is not even for an Oliver mower. It's for a new idea. And somebody wrote an Oliver number on it thinking that it would work. Or what have you. But I don't know. It might be worth ordering another one of these to see if it was the same. And then I could always shorten it. I just hate to, yeah, you know, it's one of those. I don't like destroying new parts, but I'm not going to have a choice. We're going to have to take that skid shoe off to get that other bolt put back on. So this turned into a lot more of a project than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to take my happy little Pitman stick here and bolt her on and have all the fun I could stand. And turns out I can't do that thing. I mean, I'm going to have to saw off a fair bit of this. I guess I can get let me get the old one off all the way, and we'll lay it on top of this and see what we had. Okay, I know it doesn't look like much here, but if I were to cut this down, life has smiled on me in the fact that the last hole in the new one can be the first hole in the old one. You see what I'm saying? So I can recycle one hole, and then that gives me somewhat of a pattern to follow, which I never had before. You know, I can lay my strap iron on here, and then I also know where to saw everything. I think it's going to work. I think I can do everything that needs to be done, you know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it just seems like it's going to work. So that being said, I guess I will sacrifice this Pitman stick to fix what I have. I will saw off this one, drill my holes, drill a hole in the end for the spring, and then I got to put a bolt in there to hold this together, which they did a nice rivet thing. That's going to be sad to lose that. And you're going to say, well, maybe you should just do that end. That end is awful. I hate cutting that slot in there. And then also this end lines up and these holes do not. So you see what I'm saying? So I'm not gaining anything by doing that. I need to, if I can start with this one, then I drill my new holes and life is grand. But you know what I'm saying, you still got to cut out stuff so that you have room for stuff. Got to cut this next to this hole and then drill a hole from the end for our spring to go in, and then it should be fine again until we run it into a tree or whatever. But we also have to fix all of our missing hardware apparently, because it's in rougher shape than I remember it. It was a real bad deal that led to that breaking, because what it did was it flipped it up in the air, which is probably also what bent my end of my bar. That's probably broken beyond repair. But sure, as long as it cuts a little, I'm good with it. Because we're not cutting a hayfield. We are cutting, you know what I'm saying. It's hard to get motivated to start a project like this now when it's a lot worse than what I thought it was going to be, you know. I thought it was going to be so simple. And yet, here we are so far. Oh, friends, I think we're making progress. I took that skid shoe off and I got a bolted the bar back up, and now it sits up like this. A while ago when it was laying on here, it was all the way to the ground. I put a new bolt through there. Went a little too long, but I wanted 2 nuts so that didn't vibrate loose. And then, I'm telling you what, this is the best stick that I have ever made. I mean, everything works like it's supposed to. That'll hand flip over. That's like it's supposed to. So if this really works out where it's exactly right and it works good, I'm going to order more of this number off the internet, which is for a new idea. And then all I got to do is saw off this end and move it down a little. And the pre-made new idea stick is half price of what the blank one was that I made. So yeah, half the work is done. And if you got one hole to go by, it really makes it great to do a pattern. You don't have to do any figuring on distance. So let's hope this continues to work out this way. Now our big thing is going to be trying to get all of our all of our hardware down here. It's all laying on the bar. might be difficult. I don't know. I hope not, but come on, get started in there. Just get started in there. And let me love you. We love you long time. Don't do something dumb. We're getting there. I know it doesn't look like it, but we are. Jack is hee-hawing back there to cheer us on. Probably because he recognizes failure when he sees it. Come on. I don't want to do anything stupid. So that really makes this hard because that's our normal procedure. Stupidity. So close. So close. So close. How far are we? No, we can't see anything, can we? We're not there yet. I know we aren't. We need just to go a little bit more. We need to just do this number here. We're out in the open. Come on. There. I think we're right close. There's one. There's one. There's two if it'll go. Come on. We don't want to break it at this point. We've made it this far. That would be super, super sad. We really should replace this bearing, but we'll wait till it fails and, you know, shatters everything everywhere. What I don't remember is, how did I get this bolt in there? Did I take it all the way out? Yeah, there we go. All right, I think we're on our way. We're very close to success. And that is an unusual occurrence around these here parts. I'm going to put one washer in each one. I don't think that's how I had it. I think actually what took place here was I had spacers in there because sadness had happened. And maybe that's what I want to do instead. Maybe I don't want... It'll become clear in a minute, friends, what I'm talking about. All my ramblings. Probably would be nice again if I had, you know, had you in on the loop instead of just pointed in a totally different direction. Talking, droning on. Hopefully at least my voice is putting you to sleep. At least I can do that for you. It's called using what we have available. As in, we don't have enough lock washers. That's fine. We've got extra nuts. Sure, we could go get the stuff, but is that really worth it? What do we have left? 3 nuts. Well, we'll put one on there. There. Sure. Totally unnecessary. Probably just ruined the end of the bolt. Well, I think we might have us something. That looks slick. Now if we can just, I don't know exactly where we are here. Just that number there. There. It's not perfect, is it? But that may also be partly because of some slop in these holes here. I maybe didn't get it perfect, because really it ought to change direction in a guard. However, it is kind of in a guard. It's not perfectly in the center, but the edge of the sickle is still inside here, so it's not going to be like there's space here that's trapping grass and it gets caught. It should be fine for what we're doing, especially. But I think we got it. So note to self, when we make the next one and fail miserably, we may have to tweak that a little bit to get it to do what we want perfectly. But what I'm saying is, we're not even off by a full hole. We're off by like a half a hole. And I know for a fact that plate has slop in it, so. Oh yeah. Let's lift it up. Let's rev it up and it'll lift. All right, I think we're going to call this a success, because I think it will do what we want. I could tweak it and make it a little bit better, I think. You know, I really would have liked it to have been right in the center of the guards as it changed, but you know, see right there is the point of no return. But like I said, they're in far enough where it's not going to have grass trapped just between and ball stuff up, so I think it will be fine. And our biggest problem is it probably here. That plate is pretty slopped out. The holes are oblong, like it's been worn, run loose. So I'm saying that might account for my little bit of slack. I might be able to take that all loose again and tap it back and move them in to fix that, but I'm not going to do it on this one. I'm just going to ride it the way she goes, because there's a high likelihood that that'll probably break on us. There's a high likelihood that I will destroy this stick again mowing the ditches, because there's just too much crap in the ditches that we can't control. So that's just the way she goes. So anyway, I'm glad I was able to make some use out of my piece, even if I had to totally start over on one end. But I like that system of quickly being able to make a new one, because I really did that a lot faster than I did with the total blank one. So if I order some more of those, I think we should be good. So yeah, there we have it, another repair. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. And that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.